we find that in some ways, the apparatus of Islam has been used to keep women in a subservient position in society, whether that's through lawmaking or misogynistic attitudes that creep into religious discourses. And so Islamic feminism seeks to revive the foundations of justice and beauty and mercy and love that run through the core of the Islamic tradition.
Assalamu alaikum, dear Dr. Celene Ibrahim. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
We are really happy to have you today with us, and it's really an honor for us to have this opportunity to speak about Islamic feminism. Let me just start with this term, Islamic feminism. Would you please let us know the meaning of Islamic feminism according to your understanding, please?
In so many ways, there's a redundancy in the idea of Islamic feminism because if we look at the roots of Islam, it is a movement to uplift the disenfranchised, and the disenfranchised of 7th century Arabia included many women. And of course, this is still unfortunately true today. So we almost don't need to say Islamic feminism because embedded in the idea of an Islamic society, of a just society, of one where the people at the margins are taken care of, implicitly includes taking care of women and children and the disenfranchised more broadly, which is, in fact, what feminism is also interested in. So you could say there's a bit of a redundancy in the term. On the other hand, we find that in some ways, the apparatus of Islam has been used to keep women in a subservient position in society, whether that's through lawmaking or misogynistic attitudes that creep into religious discourses. And so Islamic feminism seeks to revive the foundations of justice and beauty and mercy and love that run through the core of the Islamic tradition.
Okay, great. You have mentioned just. So I want to ask a question related to that. What do you think about a just world for women, specifically for Muslim women?
So in my scholarly research, what I've learned to do is to not take large categories and see them as monoliths. And so if we look at the category of Muslim women, some of us are doing just fine. We have comfortable lives, we're secure, we're safe. And so maybe our dignity is not particularly at stake. But then we look around the world and we see that in some places, women as a category are disadvantaged, or we see that maybe it's a racial minority that's disadvantaged in some way, and then women in that minority are doubly disadvantaged. And so I tend to try to parse out the details of any given society rather than think in these large monoliths. So
do you think that the world of today listens to women's voices enough?
You know, there are voices that have been silenced, and I'm thinking particularly about the mothers in Gaza who are crying out because their children are starving and the world is not able to get them food in a safe and efficient manner. I'm thinking, you know, about so many the Muslims that are forced into concentration camps, that there's many Muslims, and on some accounts that's because their females and female voices are being suppressed, but on other accounts that has to do with the political apparatus that is suppressing the entire population. And an active feminism doesn't just look at women's issues in a vacuum, but it looks at the power relationships in society more broadly.
Great. As a Muslim scholar, so you know that, of course, everyone has his or her own dignity in this world. But as a Muslim scholar, do you think that Islam helps support women's dignity in the world of today?
I can tell a personal story. I came to Islam in my 20s because I found in it so much that was progressive in terms of supporting women and the disenfranchised. And I have not given up, 20 plus years later, that core conviction that I saw in my 20s still stands true today. I have been very disappointed over the years to visit certain Muslim communities or to receive misogynistic comments myself, or to hear stories from other women that are just horrifying about the behavior of their male relatives towards them, or about the challenges that they face in their society to gain basic rights or access to education in some contexts. And so the stories are out there both of women who use Islam as a vehicle for their own ability to transcend the difficulties of life. And then you also find that Islam is sometimes used as an apparatus to keep women subservient.
Okay, great. So, what gives you hope when it comes to the future of Muslim women?
Yeah, Alhamdulillah, we've obviously, as a global women's movement, made tremendous strides. I think in reproductive care and in basic rights and political representation. So these are all areas where, on the whole, we've made strides. And I think that now that women as a block, if we can treat them monolithically, now that we have more ability to say own property and dispense money and secure divorces when marriage is not a healthy relationship, or all of these just basic rights, we do see them being retracted in pockets of the world. I mean, I'm sitting in the US. This is June. We're about to recognize the rollback of Muslim women, or women's generally, reproductive rights in the US. So there's rollbacks, but on the whole, I see it, as I look at the arc of history, I see that we're in a fairly good place to be a woman. We have more security, although there's still warfare and refusal of governments to prosecute rape crimes, and the list goes on, sex trafficking, and the situation of migrants. So we have many issues, but yet we can point to successes as well. You can tell just from talking to me that I don't see Muslim women's issues as separate from global issues, because they're humanities issues. It's not just like they're women's issues.
Yeah, great. As the last part of our talk today, I would like to mention some words, and please let us know what comes to your mind in one sentence.
Oh, is this a lightning round? Okay.
Yeah, something
Ready.
like that. Islamic feminism.
Me. I'm a Muslim feminist writing Islamic feminism.
Okay. Justice.
Allah's justice.
Great. Hijab.
What color will I wear today?
Okay, great. Thank you so much. That was really interesting. Thank you for sharing your time and insight. It's been truly inspiring to hear your perspective today. And I hope that we can have another chance in future to have cooperation with you.
Well, I appreciate all that the Institute does to try to get Islamic learning to be accessible for people. So thank you so much for taking the time, and may Allah guide us.